Today we have a new selection, which is House Taken Over by Jolie Cortazar. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Mr. with
can
you.
Mister,
yes, wonderful. Yes.
can we take a revision for the quiz?
Okay, so you want to revise the worksheet or what?
Yes, on the worksheet. We didn't solve the worksheet, Mister.
We did.
Yes.
Maybe you were absent.
Mr. Sorry, Mr. But the quiz is a worksheet, yes?
Yeah, 99% from the worksheets. I've got some questions in literature, some questions in grammar, in that's all.
السلام عليكم.
Okay,
There is a
thank you.
vocabulary or
Alaikum
not?
salam. Excuse me?
Vocabulary.
Yes, which is included in the selection, the Fall of the House of Usher.
Okay. Mister, can we solve the worksheet?
We did that.
No, Mister.
Mister, the questions that are out from the worksheet are from the book.
Certainly, it's the Fall of the House of Usher plus the pronouns. So, just a minute, I'm going to give. Well, can you see this presentation, which includes the picture for Edgar Allan Poe? You see it?
Yes.
Hello? Yes, good. So, once again, excuse me. A summary to this excerpt. Excerpt means what? It's a literary work. At the beginning of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, the narrator responds to a mysterious summons and travels to the ancestral home of Roderick Usher. So, is that um, a, a friend from the past, from the childhood, wrote a letter to the narrator to come for help. The narrator responded. A minute. Yes, the narrator responded and came to help his childhood friend, who is called Roderick Usher. He's a sick friend. He's hardly seen in since childhood. Maybe his problem is that guy was isolated for a long period of time. That's why he is sick. So he wanted somebody to enter his life again. Somebody he knows well, somebody he likes him. Known as the House of Usher, the vast ancient structure overlooks a dark lake or town that intensifies its gloom. House of Usher also refers to the old and distinguished family that will no longer exist if Frederick Usher dies. His twin sister Madeline is close to death, and he is the end of the line. I mean, nobody else from the Usher's family will continue. The narrator established a routine of reading and music to distract Roderick from mortal dread. When Madeline dies, they deposit her body in secure vault. Well, it's a place underground with a long hall under the house. But when the narrator tries to resume the routine, he inadvertently unlocks from deep within the house of Usher a force of evil that transcends our understanding of life and death. It's scary somehow. and this is one of the Gothic literature characteristics. So beware, because you may have in this quiz or the after ones or in the quarter exam that what is the genre of this selection? I'm gonna ask you about the genre. You're going to tell me it's of course Gothic literature. So I may ask you about the characteristics of Gothic literature. You're gonna find what? Gloom. You're gonna find what? Uh, mhm. You tell me something gloomy, something weird, something scary. Well, the story happens actually in an old house surrounded by a town which is a lake. It's an
Mister,
isolated. Yes,
Mister, we have a quiz at 1 and 30, okay? And you
yes.
said that 99% from the quiz is from the worksheet, and we want to solve the worksheet. We didn't solve it, Mister.
Okay, I'm just trying to remind you with the events. If you'd like us to start answering the worksheets, fine,
Yes, we want the worksheet because it's important more than this.
fine, no problem. Question number one. At the beginning of the fall of the House of Asher, what does the narrator do? He listens to Riddick Asher's improvisation on the guitar. He travels with Riddick Asher to visit Asher's family home. He travels to visit Riddick Asher at Asher's family home. This one is repeated. He
Mr.
accepts
C.
Riddick Asher beauty.
C.
That's
C.
right. He travels to visit Riddick Asher at Asher's family home. That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
2.
Yes. Which phrase is describe Asher's state of mind in the fall of the House of Asher?
D.
Just
Nervous.
simply nervous and
D.
agitated. Yes, it's D. You still remember, guys. In the fall of the House of Asher, what does Asher say is his biggest fear?
A.
Being frightened to death.
A.
Yes, being accidentally buried alive, the death of his sister Madeline, the collapse of the family's house. That's right. A. Which of the following is the most accurate description of what happens to Madeline Asher in the fall of the House of Asher? She dies is buried by her brother, but then returned to life to terrorize her brother and the narrator. She appears to die, is mistakenly entombed, but then revives and forces her way to freedom before dying. She pretends to die, is taken for dead, and is buried, but then emerges from the crypt to destroy the house. She nearly dies, recovers through a doctor's help, but then is thrown into an underground cell by her brother.
Mr. B.
She
Yes,
appears to die.
The ability to die is mistaken.
mistakenly entombed. She
Yes.
appears to die, but she was still alive. They didn't know this. So what happened is her brother Frederick Asher and the narrator take her to a small hole or corridor under the house and they buried her. They didn't know that she's still alive. So what happens is she appears to die, is mistakenly entombed, but then revives and forces her way to freedom before dying. That's it. Thank you. Which of the following accurate description of the ending of the fall of the House of Asher? During a storm, waters of the tank surrounding the house rise until the house is submerged. Is it what happened? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. During a
Admitted B.
storm,
B.
yes. During a storm, the barely perceptible fissure in the facade of the house widens until the house collapses. That's right. Number six. If a storm were to annihilate a building, which of the following would most likely be the result? The building would have part of its roof torn off, the building would have damage but would remain intact, the building would be reduced to small fragments, the building would be removed from its foundation.
C. The building will be reduced to small fragments.
That's right. Because actually the word annihilate means to separate or to divide into small pieces. So C is the correct answer. Number seven. Which of the following would most likely be considered an antiquity? Antiquity means something old.
Yes,
A vase from ancient
a vase
times.
from ancient times.
Yes,
Yes, Mr. A.
that's right. A vase from ancient times. 8. Which of the following is the best example of tabulaceous event? A foggy night that hides the moon, a drought that causes crops to wither or die, storms so loud that it's hard to hear others speaking, a winter night so cold that snow freezes into eyes.
Drought that causes crops in
C.
weather and time. B.
Mr. I think C.
B.
C. No,
Yes.
C. A storm so loud that it's hard to hear others speaking. It means some kind of what? Some kind of noise which makes guys cannot hear. This is the meaning of the word glitches. So what is applicable in here is C. Loud storm that forbidden people to hear. 9. Read the following sentence from the Fall of the House of Usher, in which the narrator explains that he has received a letter from Roderick Usher. A letter, however, had lately reached me in a distant part of the country, a letter from him, which, in its widely importunate nature, had admitted of no other than a personal reply.
Mr. A.
Just a minute, what is?
Mr. A.
I,
The narrator
I'm
feels
still have.
obliged.
Okay, just to read the question first. What is the most likely reason that narrator says the letter admitted of no other than a personal reply? Is your answer your knowledge of the story as well as on the sentence? You said A, the narrator feels obliged to respond to his friend's request for a visit because his friend is clearly upset. Is it your answer?
Yes, A.
That's right. Thank you. Number 10. The following question of two parts, answer part A first. In the fall of the house of Asher, which details of the house's interior seem to reflect Asher's appearance and the condition of his mind? A. Asher's confused behavior is reflected in the broken mirrors. B. Asher's self-assurance and noble manner is reflected in its wealth and splendor. C. Asher's advanced
B.
age and
B.
old-fashioned ways are reflected
B.
in the ancient furnishing. Asher's physical and mental deterioration is reflected in the gloomy darkness, lack of comfort, and old worn-out positions. It's what?
I think it's B.
B. B.
No, no,
C.
no. It's D. Asher's physical and mental deterioration. This is his problem actually, the deterioration of
What's the
his
answer, Mister?
D. D for
For
desk,
part A or B?
for part A. D. Usher's physical and mental deterioration is reflected in the gloomy darkness, lack of comfort, and old, worn out position.
Okay.
Here in this part, we are talking about his appearance, okay, and his condition of his mind. So his appearance is what? He has physical and mental deterioration. And we're talking about what? What else? The condition of his mind. Deterioration is the condition of his mind. Is gloomy. He is deteriorate. Part B, it's something that supports part A. You are getting some excerpted a quotation
Uh,
to support
B,
part
Mr.
A. It's what?
Part B.
Yes, B. The general furniture was profused, comfortless, antique, and tattered. That's right. It's not expressing that the house was so old, the furniture was not comfortable. 11. In the fall of the House of Asher, which of the following is one of the Roderick Asher's disturbing ideas? Asher believes that his house was awareness like a living thing. Asher believes that his house will fall apart, sliding into the tarn. Asher believes that his sister will die, even though she is wealthy. Asher believes that the narrator has held a grudge ever since boyhood.
Mr.
Yes,
Eh,
that, that's right, that's it. So in here, Asher believes that his house was awareness like a living thing. Thank you.
B.
B, which excerpted from the story best support the answer to part A. Although as boys we had been even intimate associates, yet I really knew little of my friend. His reserve had been always excessive and habitual. B. The belief, however, was connected with the grey stone of the home of his forefathers. The condition of the sentinels had been here, he imagined, fulfilled in the method of collocation of these stones. See, I shall perish, said Asher. I must perish in this probable folly. Thus, thus, and not otherwise, shall I be lost. I dread the events of the future, not in themselves, but in the results. The one evening, having informed me abruptly that the Lady Madeline was no more, Asher stated his intention of preserving her corpse for a fortnight. What do you think? Which of
Mr.
these
Part
excerpts
B.
but that's right.
Part, yes.
That's right. B. The belief, however, was connected with grey stones in the home of his forefather. That's right. That's it. 12. Which, excerpted from the fall of the House of Usher, captures Turi's overall effect. There was an ice. Yes,
Yes.
that's right. There was an iceness, sickening of the heart, an unredeemed dreariness of thought which no goading of the imagination could torture into out of the spleen. That's right. 13. It's about analyzing the craft and structure. The following question has two parts, A and B. Part A, which of the following is a defining element of Gothic literature that is clearly illustrated by the fall of the House of Usher? And once again, I'm going to remind you about the Gothic literature and its relation to the topic we are tackling, the fall of the House of Usher. Well, actually, the relation between Gothic literature and the fall of the House of Usher is that the genre of this selection, the House of Usher, its genre is Gothic literature. Gothic literature.
B.
So,
A weird
B. No, part
or
A.
other worldly occurrence.
weird, or other worldly occurrences. That's right, weird and gloomy. Good. Which, except from the fall of the House of Usher, but support the answer to part A. Is it A, B, C, or D? What do you think?
B.
No.
Part A. B.
I think
Part
it's
A.
D.
Yes, part A, B. I'm talking about part B.
Part A.
Part B, I
B.
think D.
D. Mr. Part B.
Yes, yes, it's D. Which aspects of Frederick Asher's character most clearly illustrated the element of Gothic literature? Here in this question, we're going to pick up two answers, not one.
Two answers.
Okay,
C and E.
Frederick is an
Mr.
accomplished musician. Yes.
C and E.
Frederick.
C and E. Okay, Frederick fears that an nature forces control his home. That's right. The fear here is one of the characteristics or the elements of Gothic literature. That's right. And in E, Frederick lives in a gloomy. Yes, gloomy here expresses the Gothic literature. So when we have fear, dreary, drastic, you get gloomy, dull. Well, these are characteristics of the Gothic literature.
So, Mr. What's the answer for 14?
14. We're going to pick up C and E. Fifteen. Read the following excerpt from The Fall of the House of Usher. The impetuous fury of the entering gust nearly lifted us from our feet. It was indeed a tempestuous yet sternly beautiful night, and one wildly singular in its terror and its beauty. Yet we had no glimpse of the moon or stars, but the undersurfaces of the huge masses of agitated vapor, as well as terrestrial objects immediately around us, were glowing in the unnatural light of faintly luminous and distinctly visible gaseous in exhalation, which hung about the inn, shrouded the mansion. In what way is this exhibit most clearly characteristics of Gothic literature?
Eh.
Yes, the description is dramatic. In all answers, we got the description is dramatic, A, B, C, D, but the second part is different. So in A, the multiple choice A, the setting described is eerie. Eerie means strange, and this is the only answer that is applied to Gothic literature, eerie. Stormy means nothing to Gothic literature. Wild beauty means nothing to Gothic literature. Filled with light, light means nothing to Gothic literature. Maybe the lack of light, but filled with light, no, it doesn't express something that relates to Gothic literature. So the correct answer here is A. Description is dramatic. The setting described is eerie. Thank you to this guy who said it's A.
You're welcome.
We are on part B,
Welcome.
which yes, great. Which most clearly is the intended effect of the excerpt in part A.
C. Part A or B?
Mr. Part B, C.
Part
Yes,
B,
to
C.
create a mood of terror. Yes. 16. Read the following sentence. The wrestler faces his adversary in the ring. Just a minute, guys, to see what's going Once again, guys, read the following sentence. The wrestler faced his adversary in the ring. In which of these answer choices does the underlined word adversary have a denotation and connotation closest to the denotation and connotation of adversary? I told you before that the denotation is the meaning. Yeah, it's the meaning you can find in a dictionary. But the connotation means a literary meaning for this word. So, yes, Keisha's foo on this, yes, because the word adversary means an enemy and foo means an enemy. So that's why Keisha's foo in the student council was Joe, who voted against every suggestion she made. That's right, hotshot. Read the following sentence. Malik bought his mother some flowers and she enjoyed their fragrance.
Eh,
In which of these answer choices does the underlined word fragrance have the same denotation as fragrance, but a clearly opposite connotation?
eh,
Yes, that's right. Because fragrance, yes, fragrance means what? It's a bad smell. Actually, odor is just smell. Could be good, could be bad. So I cannot say that fragrance 100% means odor because it's different. This is odor and this is odor, but odor could be both good or bad. But fragrance is always bad. Flavor, well, flavor doesn't relate to the word fragrance because flavor means something relates to taste, not smell. Aroma, aroma is a good smell for flower or rose. So we still have stench, which is um, the applied version here because it means bad smell. So I've got it. I've got what I'm searching for. It's bad smell. It's fragrance. Well, for the questions 18 and 19, it talks about something else. It doesn't talk about the story or even the listening having grammar, which is pronouns. I can get you online quiz on pronouns in order to remind you by the pronouns. So just a minute. Select the pronoun in the sentence. Brian's mother told him to take out the garbage, sorry. So select the answer and click submit. Where is the pronoun in here? Is it him, out, told, or mother?
him.
Him, that's right.
him.
Great. This is the book the sales clerk suggested. Where's the pronoun in here? Is it this, suggested, book, or the?
This.
What do you think? Yes, this is a
This.
demonstrative pronoun. That's right. The twins announced they were going to the movies. The pronoun here is twins, were, movies, or they. What? Hurry up, we just have 5
They.
minutes. A, twins? No,
D.
twins is
No,
a noun.
they.
D.
They, yes. Which of the books belong to Tanya? Of, belongs, which, or to?
الشرطة الشاشة تيجي متأخرة.
Got it. Again, my question is select the pronoun in the sentence. In the sentence is which of the books belongs to Tanya? Of, belongs, which, to?
Which?
That's right.
Which.
What type of pronoun is the word which? What do you think? That's a relative pronoun. Here in this sentence, it's a relative pronoun. Just a minute. Which the box belongs to Tanya. Here, which is not a linker, so it's not a relative pronoun. Here is a question tool. Mandy taught herself to ride a bike. To herself, bike, taught.
Herself.
Herself. What type of pronouns is the word herself?
I think it's reflexive أو intensive. واحدة منها.
Herself.
Mandy taught herself. Well, if you are going to separate the reflexive pronoun, it's not, well, if you separate the pronoun to its antecedent, we're going to call it reflexive pronoun. If you are not going to separate, so it's intensive pronoun. So when I'm saying Mandy herself taught, so it's gonna be what? It's gonna be assertive pronoun. But when you are separating, saying Mandy taught herself, so herself in here is a reflexive pronoun. This is the rule. This is how differentiate the reflexive pronoun to the assertive pronoun. It's the same word, but it's the point of how to if you are going to separate or not. If you are going to separate, that's okay. This is the reflexive pronoun. If you use it beside its antecedent, so this is in assertive pronoun. As you said, it's herself. Next question. Which ice cream flavor is Peter's favorite? So the pronoun here is flavor, favorite, is, or which.
Which?
That's right.
Which.
Which here is a question tool. Yes. Select the pronoun in the sentence. Tanya and I are going to the mall. So the pronoun here is are, I, mall, or Tanya. I. Good.
I.
1 minute. Dad likes helping me learn to skateboard. Me, that skateboard or two.
Me.
Me. Good.
Me.
Yes. You and Danny need to clean up the mess before mom gets home. Up before you home. Hurry up.
Before.
No.
You.
Yes, you. And the last question is, the teacher told us to line up by the door. So it's the by up us.
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 Good. And this is the end for our quiz. Here, all the answers are correct, so 100%. That's all, guys, for today. I hope you're going to answer well in your exam today. If you got any question before the exam, just tell me. Okay?
Okay.
No, thank you, Mr.
Most welcome. See you tomorrow, inshallah rahman. Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.